Hey, welcome to the Seven Freedoms Frequency podcast with me, Iona Meade, your host at the Soul Legacy TV, Spiritual Business Success with Iona. So welcome. So today is Contribution Freedom Monday, and we're talking about life purpose-led business for spiritual entrepreneurs. Now, if you are awakened to your life purpose and you feel a call on your soul, you'll know that it actually won't go away. That is what I want to say. When you feel cold, or if you're cold and you don't quite know what it is that you really are here to birth in the world, it still won't go away. I'd love to support you in figuring it out. And so if you're watching on the Soul Legacy TV, then welcome. If you're listening on the YouTube channel, if you're listening on the other platforms, I've got the sunshine behind me, and I reckon the lighting will change as we have this conversation. But I'm like trying to minimize the lighting and all the things. And I'm thinking it's beautiful. It's quite cold in the UK, but it's beautiful. So I kind of don't want to shut the curtains. So it is what it is. All right. So today, if you're new to me, welcome. If you are not new to me, you know what time it is. So it is time to talk about how we want to contribute in the world in our light work and our lifestyle, right? So for me, our contribution in our light work, what we do for a living, right? Not like working a job and working for someone else, do for a living, that impacts our lifestyle. And if we are not doing all that we feel called to do in the way that we feel called to do it, just going to support my back a little bit, in the way that we feel called to do it, we feel it. And as spiritual entrepreneurs, I don't know about you, but for me, I was born to serve. I just am, because people tell me it all the time, and I just feel that there's something bigger. And so I usually will jump into the podcast, and I usually at the end, and I'll share the card that I pulled from Keepers of the Light, and also I will share a little bit from this book. It's from a guy called Richard Newman, and he says, "You were born to speak," right? And so I say you were born to serve because it was inspired by this book, You Were Born to Speak. I believe I was born to serve. We are born to serve. Show up, speak out, and serve deep. The speaking piece of my contribution and my life purpose-led business, I've done it on the virtual stage now for like years and years, but not in person. And that's still, I wouldn't say terrified. I'm less terrified of doing it. And I don't even know why I was terrified in the first place. Now I'm thinking about it, and I probably will be in person, but it's part of what I'm here to do, and I've resisted it for years and years and years and years. And I got an email. I'm in a group called Breakthrough, Public Speaking Breakthrough, something like that. Shout out to you if you're in it. And yeah, and so the lady had sent out an email today, her contribution, right, to the world that impacts others. So people writing books and sending out emails and having groups, it impacts others, right? And so how many books have you read that from other people that has impacted you? How many groups have you been in? You've met the right person and all the things. So as me doing my contribution in the world, I'm sharing with you how to do that, how to get your gifts out in the world, right? And be visible on YouTube and on podcasts and on summits and radio and TV, etc. But the speaking in person, I'm like, oh, wow. So anyway, this podcast episode was on negotiating your speaking fee. And I'm thinking, I joined this group, right? And I'm like, oh, negotiating your speaking fee. Didn't even think of, I'm talking about contribution, and part of the Seven Freedoms Frequency podcast is being in receipt of financial freedom for what it is that we do for our gifts. Never thought of, oh, well, you could actually learn to become a paid speaker. Didn't even enter my head. And I talk about Mel Robbins, like not knowing. I was talking about this the other day in my recording in the Soul Legacy Academy. I was talking about Mel Robbins and her saying that, you know, she just knew that she wanted to speak. She's done a TED Talk. I plan to do a TED Talk. And she said, somebody had said to her, you know, how much did you get paid, basically? And she's like, what? She didn't know that she could get paid. And I know that you can get paid. I'd not put me in that category of ever becoming a paid speaker, because I was terrified of public speaking. This book I was talking about this a couple of weeks ago, came to me. I love the way that books just keep coming to me, right? And as an author, I love that. I love that my book will go to where it needs to go. I'm going to put it into paperback as yet. This is a hardback. But this book came to me as a result of a soulmate connection. He had it, never read it. He's into like removals and stuff. So it just came to him out of somebody's home. I can't imagine like not moving with all of my books. I'm not even going to lie. Like, giving up my home and becoming a spiritual digital nomad, I've still got books here. Like, and when I do actually travel, don't actually know what I'm going to do because I'm not going to be able to put like loads of books in my suitcase. I've got my Audible and my Kindle, but it's not the same. And I think I will have to get Audible versions and Kindle versions of all the books that I've got. I think that is the only way I'm actually going to feel okay about leaving my books, and that just came into mind. Anyway, so I'll share a little bit about the public speaking and speaking you're born to speak. But I actually have that on Kindle, Audible as well. And so the physical form, the physical book came to me, and it came in my world. And then I went out and I bought a copy. You know, I left him with his copy because it had like somebody's name in it, you know, dedicated to or what have you. And I thought that doesn't actually feel like my book. So I bought it. So I've been thinking about public speaking for a while, but not building my business on it either, because we know how the world works and how the world went. So as we dive into this podcast episode, I want to share my highs, lows, successes, all the things. And today, I just want to say, as we're soul-guided influencers, we're guided by the universe listening. And I like to share signs. I share the card at the end, but I like to share signs and synchronicities. And this morning, I'm right by the window. So I'm turned, and there's a really big, long back garden and a really big park that I grew up in this area. And so I turned around, and there's a yellow-breasted bird. Don't know what it's called, but I looked up yellow-breasted bird because that's what I kind of felt. Normally, like a robin will bring me a sign, a robin. I believe those signs for my son. And this one, I was like, okay, what's the spiritual meaning of a yellow-breasted bird? And so it's enlightenment, happiness, and the power of the sunshine. It says something else as well, and I can't read my own writing. But I was just like super happy. Like those signs, even when you start your day, we're going to talk about how you start your day, launch your day, lead your day. But just looking for those signs and those confirmations, and, you know, whether you believe in it or not, it just makes me feel good. So I'm just like, okay, what's the spiritual sign of that? Just talking to the bird. All right, so let's dive in to the episode and rate your vibrational frequency. What is going on with you and your purpose-led business, life purpose-led business, as a spiritual entrepreneur? How are you feeling today? If nobody's asked you how you are feeling, how are you? I like to ask the question, are you in soul funk or in soul flow? If you're in flow, amazing. If you're in a bit of funk, that's okay. That's okay. Totally fine. Because it's contrast, right? It's just birthing more rockets of desire. So I want to give a shout out to new members in SBYN, in the Spiritual Biz YouTubers Network, YouTube podcasting partnerships for spiritual entrepreneurs with a movement. Can I get a name? Super excited about that. Actually got, it's Contribution Freedom Monday. We've actually got a monthly call, which I'm going to invite you to. 1444, just saying this project was built on the 444s. I'm just going to write it down, and I'm going to look up the 44 again because it's such a beautiful energy. This project literally was built on the 4s. 444. So we've got a monthly networking call, and it happens today. Last month, I think I was supposed to start them in September, and I was like, yeah, I'm not ready. I'm not feeling it. And then, because I was like moving and stuff, I'd moved. And then October, the Zoom link wasn't working. I'm hoping that the Zoom link is working. I can't get to my, I'm just going to check, make sure that the Zoom link's working. I think so. So it wasn't working. So I ended up having a call with a soul sister last month. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. And we were talking, gosh, it's a month already. We were talking about soulmate stuff. She manifested her soulmate. That's her contribution in the world, supporting other people, as well as all the other things that she does. And I just realized what we were having a conversation about, and the whole love list thing and all the things. And still, the person that I was talking about on that call, I'm like, I don't know if this is it or what have you. It still won't go away. And we still haven't met either. So it's like, oh, that just brought me back a whole month. Just wanted to say, I'm just always going to share what's going on for me as well. So I want to give a shout out to members getting distracted. New members in the group, welcome. Super excited to hold space with spiritual entrepreneurs, like-minded spiritual entrepreneurs who have a movement and you want to connect with like minds and co-create and collaborate and cross-promote. Absolutely holding space for that. That for me just lights me up as a life purpose led business. I can't think of anything else better, because one, you get to make up your own job, and two, it's just when you meet somebody who gets it, because like trying to explain what we do to others, even if we've got like a whole script about it, I do have that, but it's, and that intro and that what have you, but trying to explain what you do to people that don't get it, you're just like, oh, it's cringy. It is for me. I'm like, yeah, you probably won't get it. This is what I do. And I always leave most things out. I'll say the bare minimum. When I'm on the dating app, I'll say the bare minimum. What do you do? Okay, well, I'm business and lifestyle coach is what I say. Like, oh, yeah, that sounds interesting. Next topic. Like, they don't get it. So collaborations, I'm so into, creating a joint vision partnership. When you are clear on your vision, we'll talk about visioning in a second, but when you're clear on your vision that you want to have and you're in alignment with it, right, and you believe it, the believable bit, I made up my own word, the believy bit, and we don't actually believe it. Like, do you believe that you can really make a difference in the world? Like really, really, really hundreds of thousands of millions of people. Do you really believe it? I absolutely do. And I take those steps every single day to be in alignment with the contribution that I want to have in the world, even when we're starting from scratch, even when we've got like a tiny, tiny little following. It doesn't feel like anybody's listening. Welcome. It doesn't feel like anybody's listening. Everybody who is anybody in the online space who has an influence, who you admire, started in that way. But I love listening to interviews and listening to how people got started. And I think we've got to remember that we just got to serve from where we are and believe in our next step. And today, I came across a lady who has a group. I'm not going to announce it because we're going to have a conversation on Friday. I came across a lady and going in groups and wanting to connect, because I haven't really been in Facebook groups for ages, and wanting to connect and find guests and just hang out with like really great minds, like minds. And as soon as it's like a beacon, like it's like a flashing. Like as soon as you see somebody who's in resonance with your soul, you're like, yes, you kind of want to jump all over them, and you're like, calm down, slow down. Like they don't even know you, but like I like to send voice notes. So I'm like, I like everything that you're doing. I love it. I love your contribution in the world, because I know where my strengths are and then what I know that everybody needs. My contribution, because it's Contribution Freedom Monday, I know I don't contribute with everything to everybody and be all things to, I'm not even trying to. So I know that we each bring, for me, there's no competition. I know that we each bring great gifts to the table. Some people might do something similar. Oh, thank you for the love. They might do something similar, but it's not the same. And we can step back and say, oh, I really admire you. I love your work. I love, you know what I mean? And let them serve. Like, why not? Like, create a collaboration, all about the joint vision partnerships. And I'm really happy to see more people come onto the call and we have that energy, because yes, we're going out there as spiritual entrepreneurs, as light workers, doing our light work in the world. And we're kind of like, well, I'm spiritually awake and this person isn't. But then when we're spiritually awake, we're kind of in the spiritual community, kind of not attacking each other, but kind of like moving and dancing around each other. It's like, yeah, well, I do the same as you and I do it better or whatever. It doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't. So we want to collaborate, right? And so the more that I share this call, the networking call, when it was Spiritual Business Women Network, loads of people were on the call, but lots of people were not in business. Loads of people were hiding. And so I changed it to the Spiritual Biz YouTubers Network, right, and podcasters. And I've had less people actually come and schedule on the call. Loads of people like, I'm interested. I think there's about 15 people on the event page, but not everybody's scheduled in. So if you want to schedule in, you need to go through my online calendar. So it gives you the Zoom link. But loads of people don't want to be visible. I know that is it. They don't want to be visible and admit like where they are. Like, let's cheer each other on for our success. And if you're not as far along as you'd like to be, it doesn't matter. Like, we're still miles ahead of where we were, right? Not everything has to be tied up in a silver bow. Coming offline and coming back online. I was off for a year and a half, fostering 3 children under 5. Just saying, kinship foster caring. Family is everything to me. So that was really important to me. So I haven't got everything tied up in a complete bow. And that's okay. Like, I'm good at what I do. I love what I do. But I'm creating my co-author book series, and I'm putting that out there today. Actually, I've just been reaching out to people that I never actually got to have a conversation with about it, who expressed interest. So I'm excited about that. Like, I love collaboration. Let me know if you love collaboration, and let me know where you are in the world. And if you are in my groups, or if you're on Twitter, I can't get your comment, but if you're somewhere where you can comment on the YouTube channel or in the Facebook group, then let me know. I'd love to add your energy to this conversation, because I'm not someone that likes to talk at people. I do like to have that conversation. What else? That was it. So let's jump into the episode. So we're going to talk about rating your vibrational frequency, right? Because it's a 7 Freedoms Frequency podcast, meaning when you tune in, hopefully you'll leave better than what you came in, right? That's the idea. It's like pass through Iona Meade's world and come out the other side shining even more brightly, especially if you're having like those dark days, right? And if you're not having those dark days, still shining even brighter. So we rate our vibration between a 1 and 11 every single day. And the 1, we don't get a 0 because we're breathing. Like, we can't be ungrateful. We're breathing, like, seriously. Like, you know, when you're having a really bad day, but we're breathing. So we rate between a 1 and 11. I'm really hard fast on that. Like, we don't get a 0 for life. Like, no. But however you're feeling, 1 or 11. 11 is connected to source, man. Like, this energy is off the charts, like in flow, like, wow, you know, you're looking at the world through the lens of your soul rather than being pushed and pulled by the humanness. And we're here to have a human experience, right? But when we fall back and we allow that guidance, so I say self-guided influences, when you allow that guidance, it's just absolutely epic. And I don't believe that we're supposed to allow that guidance all of the time. That is, for me, why we go through that awakening, because we're like, oh gosh, we're back in our human and just being pushed and pulled. So dark night of the soul, maybe it's dark night of the soul because the soul is just like, let me let you do your human thing. And the soul's all dimmed all over there. It doesn't feel very bright at all. So rate your vibrational frequency between 1 and 11. For me, it's an 11. Right, I feel in flow. I'm doing what I said I was going to do. I've made commitments. Am I doing it imperfectly? Absolutely. Like, I am. And I'm good with that. I'm not a perfectionist anymore. I've recovered as a perfectionist. I used to say I was in recovery. I'm a recovered perfectionist. And I say that jokingly, but like, for real, like, perfectionism sabotages you. It's a self-sabotaging mechanism, and it causes procrastination. I'll have like a little bit of procrastination if I'm not clear on something, but it's not because it's got to be perfect. I'm like 80% done and I'm good to go. Right. So rate your vibration, and what we do is add up our vibration. So I come live every single day talking about a different area of your life if you're new to me. So today's Contribution Freedom Monday, and I've got my red t-shirt on, and on Tuesdays we talk about health freedom. Then we talk about emotional freedom on Wednesdays, environmental freedom on Thursdays, relationship freedom on Fridays. spiritual freedom on Saturday and financial freedom on Sunday. And I love having my calls on a Friday. So I'm really happy that that call has landed on a Friday. I've got another call tomorrow, actually. But when we rate our vibration, what we do is we know that each area is influencing the other. And so we add up our frequency at the end of the week and then see where we're dipping and see what needs more tweaking and how we can raise our energy. And we do that together. And then we spend this time together. So rate your vibration. Mine is 11. We're starting again for the week. Get to start every single day. There's no fixed vibration for like ever. We go up and we go down and it fluctuates. Excuse me. But your dominant vibration. And I talk about this. The next segment is about a vision board. Do you have a vision board? So I have a free vision board challenge. It's a 7-day vision board challenge that focuses on those 7 areas. And it's about where you are and where it is that you see yourself, where you see your life going in all of the 7 areas, and then bridging that gap vibrationally, right? And we do that, we set intentions and we have that vision, and we do this every single day. I have my own vision board, I share it. The one that I did, last one that was public, was in July, and I do it live annually on the 2nd week of December at 7:30 p.m. UK time. So if you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, then subscribe. There's a playlist of replays for July, so you can go through it at any time. And then there's at the end of the playlist, there's already scheduled out December, so you can click notify me, and then you'll know when I go live. And I will do that every single year. I'm committed to doing it for the next 7 years to see what light we can birth in the world. I'm really excited about it. So if you haven't done that, I invite you to do that. This is my movement. This is me living an intentional life, setting intentions for each area of my life and raising my own vibration. I always say, if I raise my vibration, you raise your vibrational frequency, we raise the vibration of the planet, of the collective. There's no good as saying my contribution in the world, and that's my contribution to you, because it's Contribution Freedom Monday. It's hands off for me. I did it in July. It's now November. Can't believe the year's gone by so quickly. That's my contribution to you, and it will always be. Do share it out, invite somebody in, and do it with a buddy. So the vision board challenge is to help you get clear on where you see yourself in your life, in all these areas in your life, in your business, and then take ownership of whether you are actually taking the soul guided action steps to that, and whether you're visualizing that, whether you are believing that, believe it. Right? So every day we journal together and see where you're at. It's a beautiful check-in. It's a really nice way to check in. I am here meeting my own intentions. So that's the vision board. And let me know what you have on your vision board. You post it in the group. We have a Facebook group. We have a private student community group as well. Next thing that we do on the 7 Freedoms Frequency podcast is raise our vibration with gratitude. And this is a little gratitude stone that my daughter gave me, a love heart. I'm holding it up because she was just listening to me. She gave it to me when she was a little girl, and she's 20 now. And so we used to say gratitude all the time with my daughter and my son. So let's express gratitude, the 7 Freedoms Frequency way. You can speak it out with me. You can write it down. I like to I call it soul speaking into existence now, because I'm journaling with you, right? I've got like minimal amounts of notes in my journal. Can't even read my own writing most of the time, right? You can't see that. It's really, I've got learning and dyslexia, so videoing and speaking it feels good to me. So what we do is we say, I'm happy and I'm grateful and I appreciate it. Those 3 things, right? Because that's the purpose. We want to just be happy. We don't want to strive and then we get up the success ladder and contribute in ways, and then we're like feeling unfulfilled. It's like being happy now, right? It's a choice. I believe it's a choice. I honestly do. So I'm happy, I'm grateful, and I appreciate. We want to appreciate, right? Something in the past, something in the present, or something in the predicted future, which is on your vision board. You choose whatever comes to mind. So in terms of contribution, I say I'm happy and grateful and appreciate. So I'll think of something, right? I'm happy and I'm grateful. I appreciate the monthly call. And for those who are interested in coming on the monthly call, I'm happy and grateful and appreciate that I get to hold space for amazing like minds, and I actually get to share what I'm doing in the world and what I'm birthing in the world. I'm feeling really good about it. You know, sometimes when we share what we do, we're like, oh, reserved about it. And I'm like, no, I want to share it from, I mean, sometimes I'm like, oh gosh, you know, if it's somebody new, but the majority of the time, like, I'm like, no, I love what I do. And I know that there's room for collaborations in what I do. So, and my whole business is built on collaborations, actually, joint vision partnerships. So I'm happy and grateful for that. I'm happy and grateful and appreciate in terms of my health. Okay. So on the Vision Board Challenge, I cover mental health, physical health, emotional health, environmental health, spiritual health, and can't remember another one, maybe social health, I think. So I would say I'm happy and grateful and appreciate my social health and my environmental health, because I've just got a love you on the screen. Whatever. My contribution, that's made me giggle. So I'm happy and grateful and appreciate my social health because I'm getting out there more. Like I went to a family get together. I don't know about you, whether you resonate with your family and you get on with your family or what have you. I have a beautiful family. I have a big, big family. However, being placed as a light worker, going through multiple spiritual awakenings, being the youngest, it's kind of like, but everybody might not really get all of the things about me. And that's okay. They love me and I love them. Like, I really love them. But when you are awake, I mean, they're all asking about my book and that. They supported me. Everybody supported me in my book and my book writing. I think when I made my business tangible by writing a book, they're like, okay, she's made it. Thank you for the love. She's made it, kind of thing. Or she's making it, whatever. So I'm happy and grateful and appreciate that social health. My family were out and they were dancing. I wasn't dancing too much, actually, because I'd gone out the night before. But that social, it was just really nice to see everyone. I'm so proud of all of my nieces and nephews, and I've got great nieces and nephews, and we've got a new baby, great niece. Oh, she's beautiful. So I'm grateful for my social health, all that to say. Because I realized that, you know, sometimes when we go for a spiritual awakening, we isolate ourselves. And I was fostering 3 children under 5 for a year. So, like, I didn't really see that many people. I was busy with the kids. So my life looked different. My sister's over from the States, so we had a family gathering. I'm happy and grateful and appreciate emotionally. There's a lot of laughter. There was a lot of laughter and there's a lot of love. A lot of, like, if I can say one thing about our family, there's a lot of love. We don't always see eye to eye, don't get me wrong, but there is a lot of love, like a lot of love, which is beautiful. You know, when you just look and you just like, wow, I could feel it. It's beautiful. So I'm happy and grateful and appreciate that because it invoked those emotions in me. I'm happy and grateful and appreciate my environmental freedom. Just being around family. So when I talk about living intentionally and setting those intentions and then noticing, and I'm grateful, sometimes an experience might hit all of the 7 freedoms. Do you know what I mean? So that hit, I was in a different environment that I'm not normally in. It's one of my brother's clubs. And it was nice and it was welcoming and it was relaxing. So because I do these lives daily, is not a big jump in terms of my experiences, but I still want to be grateful for new experiences, past experiences, predicted. I could say a lot more on the vision board, but that for me, I kind of save that for when I'm like, yeah, I can't think of anything. But if something's going on, I try not to leave it to pass, you know. So I'm happy and grateful for that environment. I'm also happy and grateful. I got a lot of love and a lot of squeezes. Our family, what I noticed was our family are very, very affectionate. Are you guys affectionate? We're super affectionate. Like every person there, because I'm the youngest of 7, so we've got a big family, would go around and say hello. We all have a hug. Guys as well, that like link heart, do all the, I don't know, the fist bump things, and then kind of, you know, lock shoulders. For the women, you get a hug, so you got a guy hug or a girl hug when we greet each other, but also when we say goodbye and we stand up. You know, if we sat down, there's just such an etiquette with our family. So those relationships is powerful. And there's times through my journey, my spiritual awakening, I didn't appreciate it. I focused on the differences. Like, nobody understands me, don't really get me, feel like a little bit of a crazy lady, feel a bit freaky over here. And so coming from London, where I was staying with a friend who isn't used to family, coming back into the family, and just happened that my sister came over from the States, feels amazing. Like, never, 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 ever want to lose that sight of that ever again. Like, you know what I mean? So that's me being really grateful and just noticing. So if you're thinking like, why are you saying about the same things? That's it. You know, what's going on for you? Like, what are your relationships like? And I just got, and I love you. I just love you. There's a lot of love. I'm just very open. So I'm happy and grateful and appreciate spirituality. And I'm laughing because what comes to mind is the universe brings us who we need in our life when we need them, right? And I keep being just guided. I'm guided to call in my soul tribe. I'm guided to call in my husband. Yeah, so I'm grateful for handing things over to the universe, as well as taking action, but handing things over and smiling when the things come back to me. But yeah, I'm happy and grateful and appreciate financial freedom. So yeah, so yesterday, so I went to my brother's club and I didn't have to put my hand in my pocket. Like, it's just, I'm always taken care of. So I'm the youngest of 7. So my big brother's like, sis, he's introducing me as his baby sister. I'm like, I'm 50. And he was telling my daughter, I remember when your mum was out at 27 and da-da-da. I'm like, oh my gosh, but I'm always taken care of, being the baby. And I hated it before. I was like, oh, doing my head in, stop it, I'm not a baby. Now I'm like, okay, dude. Whatever. And my daughter's partner's like, you know, you got everything that you need. Just feeling really, do you allow people to take care of you? Because at one point I didn't. I was like, no, I'm good. No, I'm good. I just lock it off. I'd lock it off. And now I learned that from one of my students, Robin, thank you. Because she started to say thank you. She started to receive. And I'm still like a little bit uncomfortable saying it out loud. But because it's like, well, I should be contributing, but it's Contribution Freedom Monday. If we don't ever allow anybody to contribute to us, like, how are we going to go out contributing to other people and have them feel comfortable? So it's still a little bit, but I'm saying gratitude for it anyway, because it was a really nice experience. Let me know where you're watching, and if you're watching somewhere where you're commenting and I can't see, come over to the YouTube channel so that you can comment with me. All right, you've been on a while, probably nearly half an hour with me. I don't want to talk at you. I want to actually exchange and have a beautiful conversation with you, if that's okay with you. Give me permission to bring you into the conversation. Yeah. That would light me up, because then I'm contributing to you and you're contributing to the energy, and our conversation sometimes sparks what somebody else needs to hear, right? So next thing for the 7, if you feel comfortable, obviously, but I'd love that. So the next thing for the 7 Freedoms Frequency podcast, how we launch our day, lead our day, and leave our day in terms of our contribution freedom and the frequency of that. And so every single day I will ask, right, so when you launch your day in terms of your health, how are you injecting your health into every single area? Every single day? Like, how are you injecting your emotions? How do you want to feel every day? What environments do you want to be in? What relationships do you want to have? What spiritual practices and how connected you want to feel? And finances. So I'm doing that with contribution. How are you contributing today? Are you reaching out and making connections? Are you reaching out and inviting people to work with you? Are you reaching out and sharing your message? How are you contributing? Are you writing? Are you publishing your writing? Like, don't do it, not doing everything behind closed doors. I mean, actually engaging in the world, not giving your life purpose led business lip service. That's the biggest thing for me. Like, yes, we prepare, we do a lot of things, behind the scenes as such, but how are you launching your day, leading your day, and leaving it? This is me, like launching my day. I'm staying with my sister-in-law, and I've come down to do this live and work at my niece's, and I'm getting into that routine and just having her around. That contribution, we were talking today about the contribution I've made into her life. So I talk about that contribution in business, but also the contribution in our lifestyle. And I'm really happy and grateful that I've been able to make her contribution. Thank you, Jenna. How you doing? Oklahoma. Oh, yes. I'll put you on the map. I've been putting everybody, I haven't actually done it this week. Put everybody on the map who I'm reaching and not comfortable with joining the conversation. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for being here. And yeah, and I'm acknowledging that. And hopefully over time, you'll be having your own conversations, and we can connect deeper. Thank you for spending this time with me, because I'm a bit of a tough love person. Not a bit, a lot. I'm a tough love mentor, and I'm like, come on, and I understand that not everybody's there yet, but regardless, I want to let you know, which you will know anyway, but just a reminder of our voices together are more powerful. My voice being shared, your voice being shared, and us being heard is really powerful. And so I just want to say that if you needed to hear that, or somebody else needed to hear that, that's what I feel called to say. So, but thank you for that. I really appreciate it. So next, we want to talk about the soul guided action steps that we're going to take as we launch our day, lead our day, leave our day, or if we've got a gap to where it is that we want to be in our life purpose-led business, what action steps can you take over this next week? So last week, I would lay down my steps to come to this week, and then I will reflect and look back and go, Iona, did you do that stuff? And the majority of it I did. And oftentimes things take a lot longer than what we think, but every single day I'm taking some kind of action on serving my purpose and building my business and reaching out. And, and I get to the Monday and I'm like, girl, you've done good. Everything probably takes twice as long, right? And I have Ellen and dyslexia, but I'm still moving. I'm still doing, I've got deadlines. So like what needs to be done just has to get done. And today I reached out for the monthly networking call. I'm like, guys, are you on it? Have you scheduled on? The link is in the show notes and the description. It's not enough to say, yeah, I want to come on the event page. It's scheduling out. And so that's the way that I automate my business. And so I've got to go and do that. And I was doing that today. Ideally, I don't want to be doing that on the day. I want to be doing it prior. But I did it anyway. It's like, yeah, there's still a lot of sense in doing it. Do it anyway. So everything doesn't always get done, like yesterday, but it's still worth doing it. And so next week, when I'm still, because we've got a monthly call from now, regardless, every day I still will be reaching out. So next month we have more people on the call. I'm reaching more people, and that's my biggest contribution, holding space on the free monthly networking call, because I don't think enough of us do hold space for one another. And in doing that, like I said, I'm going to have a conversation on Friday. I came across a lady in a group, and she was saying she'd posted, I think it was 2 years prior, would everybody like to go on a networking call? And I said, are you doing this? Are you still doing this? And she said, I just thought about doing it again. I was like, let's collaborate. If it resonates, let's collaborate. So, we're not always here to do things alone, but there are times when you're going to feel more comfortable doing that, just reaching out and saying, hey, so you're not doing it alone behind closed doors. So 1 to 3 action steps, soul guided action steps. If you don't know them now, then that's totally fine. When we jump off, write down in your journal and just ask for that guidance. What is it that I need to be doing? What are my next steps? What are my next action steps? Your soul will answer every single time. Probably something that something that you might be scared of, something that you were doing and you stopped doing, whatever it is. 1 to 3 things between now and next week that will move the needle and push your spiritual business forward, right, as an entrepreneur. The next thing, so Jenna, we play the soul income game on the Seven Fragrance Frequency podcast. I love this piece. And so I'll talk about the book that I read and I'll pull the card at the end. We're almost at the end. But this is called the soul income game. So this journal, this is my journal. It's a notebook and it's called the Soul Legacy Journal. I'm the founder of the Soul Legacy Academy. And it's 365 days of your spiritual awakening story. Because I believe we're waking up every single day, even more, becoming more aware. And I say it's a co-created soul path to spiritual alchemy for light workers. So it gives you, this journal gives you, doesn't give you physical money, it gives you vibrational money. And imagine a vibrational money voucher of £1,000, dollars, or euros, or wherever you are in the world. I know that you're in the States, to spend every single day, right? As if we're contributing in the world and we're receiving that soul client income. And so the rules to this game, it's fun. And you get to know what your T. Harv Eker says. I don't think it's just him that says it, but your money personality, your money type. And I'm a money monk, apparently. So that practice of spending vibrational, this is perfect for me. So we spend the vibrational money voucher. The rule is we tithe 10% of that to a worthy cause. I tithe to a charity called Compassionate Friends. They are a charity for bereaved parents, because I am one. I dedicate my work to my son. My son passed 8 years ago. He would have been 28. And I have my daughter as well. She's 20, and his daughter, she's 10, not actually living with me. So yeah, tithe 10% to a worthy cause that you believe in, that you're really passionate about. So you're receiving this soul client income, and you know that you're passing that energy on, like you're being in service in the world, and you're also out there, you know, giving love and loving up on others as well. So we make the energy of money flow and feel even better, because all the stuff that we're told, and I believe all the stuff that we're told and the conditioning that we're told, that money's the root of all evil and blah, 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 blah. We can all reel a similar message off. And I think that is the conditioning and the programming. Not that money's bad, just that we're being programmed not to have it. So Jenna said, when I first started following you, I was building my soul business. Now I'm climbing out the abyss. So I believe myself to be too far under my trauma to engage in conversation on building. I'm still surviving. I'm grateful. I'm beginning to remember I have a real spiritual purpose. Thank you. So I'm gonna try not to cry. Yeah. If you've got tears and I'm feeling them, or any, yeah, thank you. I'm gonna read that again. That's huge. Right. That was huge. Thank you. And that's why I'm here doing what I'm doing. Oh gosh, that's why. Oh wow. That's why I'm here doing what I'm doing. I'm gonna cry. And that's okay, because I'm doing it for you, right? Because I've been there, and there's not enough people that say, you know, this is where I'm at. This is where I'm at. And I think that we need to hold space more, because a spiritual awakening, it's rude. Like I went through another spiritual awakening, fostering 3 children under 5, and I'm like, dude, I don't want to be here. Like I experienced such severe burnout, and I'm like, wow. And I know I went through that again, because I hadn't had like a real deep spiritual awakening for a really long time. And I'm not going to apologize for the tears. And it hit me, and I was like, I have to come back online. I have to share it. And when I came back on, I was coming out the tail end of the burnout, and now I feel amazing again. So it's possible. Oh, so Jenna said, I'm crying at hearing you speak my words with compassion. Wow, thank you so much. So that's it. You know, I've been saying this last week, bring me my soul tribe. I'm ready. Bring me my soul tribe. I'm calling you in. And you're here for a reason. And it's funny when you say that when you first started following me, because I don't believe that we've actually had a conversation. I don't believe that we've had a conversation, but what I do know is that when we are ready and we are in alignment, we get our next steps. We got that you got that answer. You know, when I say, well, what could be your next soul guided action step? It could just be that, voicing that. And I feel them. I feel those tears. That's why I'm not apologizing. I feel it. And the Seven Freedoms Frequency podcast is that, like, this isn't just me sat in the UK going, I've got my business and my business is it. It's like, look, this is a raw and real journey, but I know everything that we go through is to serve our purpose. Everything. I'm going to squeeze it all up, like every single little drop. and let you know. And so I've got a co-author book series, and I don't know if you know that. I've just been putting it out today because I want to have those spiritual awakening stories, and I want to normalize it because it's normal. Like when we go on this spiritual awakening journey and we're spiritual entrepreneurs, we've got to have gone through an awakening. That's our gifts are birthed through it. I really do believe that spiritual ascension, we figure out the spiritual ascension tools, the spiritual awakening, then this was my spiritual ascension tool, the journaling and the visualization. I had to visualize being in a different place because where I was not cool. And this is what got me out of the last dark night of the soul. I'm like, I've got to go for it. I've got to be back online. It's my calling. So we've never spoken. We haven't, have we? Do you know what? And do you know, thank you. We haven't spoke. I didn't, because I remember the conversations that I have, because I go deep on my conversations. And they say that when you are going out there, you're birthing your gifts, you're speaking. Because I'm like, I've been everywhere. I've been off for a while, but I'm everywhere. And people will watch, and they say that people watch you and follow you and listen anyway, and we don't believe it. I know that, but we don't believe it. You know, we still have to serve even when we don't get a like and a comment and a what have you. It's bigger than us, and we've got to trust. And you've just shown me that contributing anyway, you know, showing up, speaking out and serving deep, just having a conversation and doing this live. So I could have been behind closed doors recording and then just pop it on, but I wouldn't have this experience. Do you know what I mean? So thank you so much. So the soul income game, we bank 50K in 50 days. We tie 10%. So we feel good about having that energy exchange of birthing our gifts in the world and getting paid, because I don't know about you, but I don't want to work for someone else. It just doesn't resonate with my soul. Some of us are supposed to and some of us are not, and I'm one that's not. So I just do not. I've done it. I'm not putting it down, you know, but I'm not. As an entrepreneur, I'm not. So I'm not going to apologize for that. So all of our bills are taken care of. All of our savings are taken care of. All of our taxes done. When you do your vision board, Jenna, have you seen my vision board challenge? This is what I used to move me out of the dark night of the soul. I had to have a vision to hold on to. I had to believe that I could have a different experience than what I was experiencing. When I came out of that dark night of soul, or I was coming out, the light at the end of the tunnel was me seeing a version of me that was serving. It was huge. But me also having a life, right, having the relationships that I wanted to have, and I had to let go of a lot. I had to let it go. And that's why now when I'm saying that, you know, like my family dancing and us chilling and stuff, I let go of a lot. I left the tribe years and years and years ago. Just recently returned, right? But the vision was everything to me. It was everything. So we play the soul income game, and then I invite you to come and do it with me on my masterclass. And I don't think you've been on my masterclass either. So there's a 4-hour training, the Spiritual Biz YouTubers Masterclass, again, bank 50K in 50 days challenge. And I hold space and I share with you how to create your book, a business around your book, around your story. I reckon you've got one. I reckon you've got a doozy of one. Yeah, a business around your own full birthing your book, or being a co-author in my co-author book series, sharing your spiritual awakening story, but building your business. And for me, the contribution freedom is big because it's not about us. And I always say this, all of my recordings from years ago when I first started out, I always say to my students, this is bigger than you. You do know this is bigger than you, right? And they're like, yeah, we remember this is bigger than me. I know that. And, you know, my son is with me, guiding me. And, you know, as a mama who's gone through, I don't even know if I can call it a spiritual awakening, losing my son. And thank you for the love. And I'm like, there's no way his life's going down in vain. His name's not going down in vain. No way. So I had to literally pick myself up and launch and lead my legacy and share, you know. And there's a lot of people in my life that say that inspires them. And I'm like, well, at least there's that. You know what I mean? So no matter what we've gone through, what we're going through, when we're in the midst of it, and it can change like that overnight. It can change like that. All of a sudden, we've just got a different perspective. And it's like, and we're detached from. And it's in the resistance, right? It feels worse in the resistance. So let me pull the card for today. So I believe this is going to be for you as well. Then I'll share a little bit about the book that I was reading and listening to today. And then I'll invite you to the monthly call. Jenna said, I've heard you here and there. Thank you for showing up and reminding me the other side of hell still exists. It does. I'm literally awakening out of the disassociation. Awesome. Yeah, you've seen me. Thank you. This is Saint Germain. So karmic releasing, right? Karmic releasing. Every single day I'll bring a card. I know it's for me. I know it's for you. Karmic releasing. So it says, move beyond drama. Create your own path. Make room for good energy. Yes. And read it again. Karmic releasing. Move beyond drama. Create your own path. Make room for good energy. So hopefully that resonates with you. Wow. Did you get that? It's cool, isn't it? I know it's for me and I know it's for you, right? Woo! I love that. That's how to start the week. That is how to start the week. This is the card deck from Keepers of the Light by Cal Gray. And if you don't know, do you know what? I don't even know where it is now. It's usually right here. And so in this deck, I was just called to go through Cal Gray's training. And in the deck, I'm looking for it still. I'll bring it out tomorrow. There's a card, and he said, look in the deck, look in the pack, and see, breathing in that. I know. Move beyond the drama, create your own path, make room for good energy. Every time. So this deck, and he said, Cal Gray said, look in the deck and see if you see a card that looks like a family member and my son. And I'm like, and the picture of me and my son and the picture of the card, it talks about a divine intervention. It says happiness is your true purpose. And literally I did an event called the #1 Divine Intervention virtual event, and my son passed during that event. And it says happiness is you are a divine intervention is occurring. Happiness is your purpose. And from that, I'm like, every single day, I that's it. That's my job. It's beautiful, isn't it? Breathing that in. Lovely. All right. So let me share the book with you. You were born to speak. This is it again. I was listening to it today. So I'm going to read a little bit of it, just like half a chapter. And he says, the Journal of Psychology published an academic paper in 2016. I was elated. We had proven that any person, no matter their age, race, or gender, can dramatically increase their influence on people from a whole range of backgrounds by behaving the way we were born to speak. Why is that important? My aim has been to help great people to do great work. We often see companies, communities, and countries being led by the person who just happened to be good at winning votes. I believe that the person with the best ideas and intentions and the greatest ability to create meaningful change should have the means by which to gain support. That can only happen if that person or persons or people, have the means by which to communicate effectively. I love that. Ideas will not speak for themselves. You have to do the speaking. Remember, it's you were born to speak. If a speaking style puts people off listening to what you have to say, you have to make the road up to achieving your goal that much hard. You have made the road to achieving your goal much harder. So, what exactly was the most effective speaking style we discovered in our research? How exactly were you born to speak? Meaning that I believe we just need to find our own voice. This is my own voice and my own rhythm. I can't speak in another way. I just speak from the soul. We're guided. And so getting featured, going out there on podcasts, summits, radio, TV, that's the journey that I'm on. And obviously I will learn and I'll get better. But I think if you just speak from the heart, like, you're good. If you speak from the purpose, right, you're good. And we are born to serve. So with that said, I would love to have you on our monthly networking call, Jenna. Please do come on that, or DM me anyway, if you just want to have a chat. Because it's time. Right. And so the monthly networking call is for spiritual entrepreneurs who have a movement inside of them and you want to be visible on podcasts, YouTube, going out there and collectively making our difference in the world, co-creating and collaborating. I'm holding space every single month. You'll be pleased to know my business is scheduled out for the next 7 years. So no matter when you're listening to this, that monthly networking call will be there when you are ready. That is what I wanted to do. I wanted to be consistent. I wanted to have that place where whenever you're ready, you can come out from behind closed doors and we can have a conversation and continue on this conversation. It's super, super powerful. I've been called to do that because there's so many people out there saying, just put a call to action in your marketing. Tell people to download a PDF and get on your list. I'm like, oh, stop doing that. Actually, it's not that you can't do that. Like, I've got a masterclass and I'll have your email. I've got the call that gives you your email, but it's the purpose of it and the energy of it. Create my own path. That is the path of actually having a conversation with the people that we were born to serve, right? So we've got soul contracts, and no matter what we it's either this lifetime or the next lifetime. I'm going to do it this time because it's going to be probably more painful than the next lifetime. Just saying. So I'd love to have you on the monthly networking call. The link is in the show notes. The link to the Vision Board Challenge is in the show notes. The link to the Spiritual Biz YouTubers Masterclass that happens on the last Monday of the month at 3 p.m. UK time. It's a free training, is in the show notes as well. And I believe that is it. Definitely breathe that in. Definitely. I'm so grateful that you've had this conversation and, you just went out of your comfort zone just that little bit. And again, that's what makes this. You will have sparked something that somebody else needs to hear. I guarantee that. It's absolutely epic. Absolutely epic. So thank you again. So I believe that you are here to share your voice and shine your light because you are born to serve. Big love. I shall see you back here again for Health Freedom Tuesday on the Seven Freedoms Frequency podcast. Again, if you haven't subscribed to the Soul Legacy TV, do subscribe. I come live daily. I share also the Spiritual Awakening Annual YouTube Summit and podcast. I feel very blessed to spend this time with you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. I shall see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye.